So there you have it, family, your cream of split pea soup. It's an appetizer, so you don't want more than that. Look. On today's episode of the Jamaican Cooking Journey, I'll be sharing with you how to make a cream of yellow split pea soup. Let me just pause here to say special thanks to my patrons. If you're new, welcome. And if you've been there with me from the beginning, thank you for continued support. So what I have right here, this thing doesn't require a lot of ingredients. I've got some freshly squeezed coconut milk. I've got here about a cup of freshly chopped celery and green scallions. They are in there together, leaves of the celery and all. I've got here about a tablespoon and a half of finely chopped garlic. You could use roasted garlic. A small head of roasted garlic would be so much flavorful. Also, the same amount of finely chopped onions. This is like a half of a small onion, and this is small head of garlic. So I've got my salt, and of course I'm going to be using a little margarine. Butter could be good for you. Right on over here I have 2 cups of split peas, yellow split peas. So this split peas here, it was washed and it was pre-soaked in the refrigerator for 24 hours. After that 24 hours, I did throw off that water, rinse it properly, run it through the sieve, and then here I have it. I am going to now get my split peas all cooked. When I do it like this, it is like almost right. So I like to do it like that. I want it creamy. I don't want to feel any grains in it. So I'm going to be putting about, I'll just show you, just enough to cover it and a little too to help with the volume as it starts cooking. But before I do that, I'm going to leave it there to come to a boil because there are some froth that are going to come to the top, and I want to get that froth off because while I'm going to be using my pressure pot, so whilst using the pressure pot, that froth will start coming through and make things a little less happy. So I'm going to leave it to come to a boil, and of course while it's coming to a boil, I'm going to be giving it a little gig of salt just to get it, easily flavored. When you want to put in the little aromatics, it won't be hard. So this is the salt that I have. Any salt you have, you use it. This is what I have at this point. Yes, so use what you have and do to your liking. Your salt intake is different from mine, okay? In this stock pot here, I am melting off 1/3 of a stick of, this is margarine. You could use butter, you could use olive oil, which may end up in about 1.5 tablespoons or probably 2 tablespoons of liquid. So I'm gonna leave that to melt. All melted on the medium, and I have it there with a little sizzle. This is my green scallions and the celery, and you see I told you it's just like about 1/2 cup. I'm gonna do it on the medium. Want to get all these flavors out. These are my aromatics that I'm gonna be using to flavor this cream of soup. And as a cream of soup, you don't need a lot of excess flavoring to make it all that, over the top. So you see them start already. We want to get all these in there. We are sauteing them off until they are soft. We have started with these because they are a little more to, they are harder to get softened than the what's that thing? I have so much on my mind right now, family. Than the garlic and the onion. Sauteing them off at this point for them to build some form of mushiness down in there. So when we add our onions and garlic, especially, they won't burn. And I'll do this, and when I come back, my onions and my garlic will be ready to be added. Somewhat softened, but still green and pretty. onions right in right now. Give it a little mix. The time is so cold, and on top of the coldness, we need some that, and we need stuff to warm our body. We also want to get a lot of liquid into our body to flush out all that extra holiday eating that we did, you know. Right in with our garlic. Try to make your garlic be last. Believe you use the others to form like a bed, like a cushion, so the garlic won't burn easily, because if you put the garlic in the pot on its own, it will start burning. So you're supposed to be at your lowest right now, and you're gonna cook it off a little more until the garlic and the onion have become soft. But pay attention to be here moving around. And if you know anything about these four stuff that I use, celery, fresh green scallions, garlic and onions coming together in a little margarine, butter or olive oil, if you know a thing or two about cooking, then you would really know what the flavor that I am having right here at this point. So I'm gonna do that, and when you see me next, we should be coming back. I'm waiting right here for my split peas to come to a boil, and when that has happened, I will return. So it's boiling now, and it's coming up, and you want to let it boil until you see it starts with all these. You want to take your time, just be patient, and you want to remove all of this. This will, if you're cooking it just stove top with a pot, this will lift the lid, and you sure don't want none of these in your thing, you know. So you just want to get all of these off, stir it around, and let it continue to boil until you see little or none of this coming up at the top. Okay, so with that excess soaking, we got rid of a lot of the stuff in there that would have made it froth so much. When you soak it for a really good period of time, all that starchiness and something will come up, or whatever in there. I think it's starch though that makes it froth. You would have gotten rid of it, and then you have to wash off that water. So we're gonna let it start boiling again, and then we're gonna see if any of this come up. So it's boiling, and you see you're seeing little or none of this froth coming up. So what we're gonna do now, I am gonna put my pressure lid on. I'm gonna lower this flame because this pressure pot is the smallest amount of heat built up in it you can't get for close. But I'm gonna try. Oh, it's closed. I'm gonna leave it on a medium heat, because I don't want to pressure it too high. I'm gonna pressure it on the medium for about 25 minutes thereabout. And at that point, so you see right here, I have added a little coconut milk right here to cool down all of this. And what I'm gonna do now, I am gonna put it in my little, you know, your little bullet, and I'm gonna blend it out, because we want all of this in our cream of split pea soup. But guess what? We don't want all it all chunky. We just want it to be all liquid. So when this is finished, and this is where we want it, we'll come back, and then we'll just wrap it up. No food, no meat. I thought I did one of this last year, but it had food and meat. This is no food, this is no meat. So you see it's coming up, and the pressure is starting to build right there, so you won't have any frothing. I'll catch you in the next clip. So we are back. Our split peas is cooked, and we got here our blender with a little ice, because it's sort of not solid, it's hot. So we are gonna blend some, maybe not all. So I've just used a little ice, but this blender can, you know, deal with the heat. You can make soups, so it have a eating with it. So, but I don't, any blender I guess, and you put a little ice in there. We're gonna do some puring out, maybe not all. Okay, so now this here is my little aromatics that I sauteed. I put a little coconut milk, and we blended it as I told you in the prior clip. So now I want my thing just to be smooth, so I'm just gonna, you know, get it all strained out inside here. So all liquid here. So this is my flavoring for my cream of split pea soup. That's my flavoring. I used my herbs with that on. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put another third of butter. Margarine I'm using. You can use your butter. I'm gonna put another third of margarine in there and get it all melted. As it melts, I can add my coconut milk, the remainder of my coconut milk. And this here is my blended split peas. So you can look at the consistency of it going down in there. Yeah, you see that? So we have it all here. You see this? So I'm gonna let this go on the low. I'm gonna blend in everything on the low, stirring it around as my butter melts. And I'm gonna let this go for about another 7 to 8 minutes on the low. And as it comes to like a nice little boil and getting like all thickened, I'll just take off the excess froth up there. Okay, you see that? Look at this. You see it? Look at it. I want you to see this. Okay, we're gonna let it cook, and the coconut milk has to cook, so we are gonna remove that froth to let you see. But as it cooks, froth is gonna come onto it. So we are gonna taste now for salt perfection, and if I need a little salt, extra salt, I'll add it, and that's just about it for me, nothing else. So it has come to a boil. You see that? Slow boil. Right, as it boils, it thickens. And right here I have, so when just about a minute, a slow boil, I have some homemade coconut cream. I did use some of it. This is homemade coconut cream. It was in my refrigerator. I'm gonna put it in right now. That extra cream that we are looking for, it's gonna give it to it, and we are gonna let it stay right in there and dissolve. Okay, you want to let it dissolve on that slow boil, and as it dissolves, that extra cream will just be in there. So I'm gonna give it some time, let it dissolve. I've added a little extra salt, and that's all it needed. So I'm gonna give it some time, another 5 minutes on the slow boil. As the coconut milk dissolves, you see it? It's dissolving with that heat because it's coming from the refrigerator. If you have your store-bought, you can use it. When you see me next, I'll plate up some just for you. So there you have it, family, your cream of split pea soup. It's an appetizer, so you don't want more than that. Look at this. This is what it looks like in here. You see that? Yeah, this is what it looks like. Thanks for watching.